Put that tape in and press play. Let's take it back. Turn the volume up. I'ma show you where to start the lines and where to take the designs. What parts to blend, not just in the design, but also what fading techniques I use around the design. I'ma show you how to use a straight blade razor, but not just how, but where and when to use it. Last but not least, I'ma show you how to enhance your hair design. So let's press rewind, one step at a time. This is Swift Tips. 5 easy tips for better designs, brought to you by DK the Barber. Let's start off with a flat, even, empty canvas. I like to start off anywhere between a 1 to a 1.5, but it can vary depending on the design. Here in the video, I use a Oscar's metal 1.5 clip, just so you guys know. Hey, real quick, pay attention to my client's phone. This is 100% freestyle art, transferring it straight from the phone onto his head. No stencils or pencils needed, guys. I'm gonna teach you guys not just to be better barbers, but to be a better artist, because at the end of the day, that's what we are. Which brings me into tip number 1. Use the blade itself as a measuring tool. For example, I'm using the T outliners by Andis, and these are roughly about 1.5 inches wide. So get to know your clippers a little more. Clippers are like paintbrushes, and what did I say earlier? We're artists. So our clippers are like our paintbrush. An artist doesn't use one paintbrush for a whole painting. Each paintbrush is for a specific certain category or area of the painting. Well, let's treat our haircuts as if it's a art piece, because at the end of the day, it is. That's a glorified piece. If you ask me, I would rather have a walking billboard than a piece of paper hanging up in someone's house any day. Let's hop into tip number 2, getting to know your client's head. What I mean by head is not just the size of the head, but the cowlicks, the way the hair grows, the hairline. Do they have any light spots, dark spots, moles, acne? Any of these things are variables in your haircut. It can change the way or where you place the design, so be smart with your space management. Wasted real estate can be critical when doing hair designs, because if you go too high into the hair, you're gonna have to cut off more hair than expected. Okay, so be very conscious of where you're cutting at all times. Like shown in the video right now, I grabbed my blending clippers and slapped a 0.5 clip on there because the lines weren't coming out the way I wanted to, and I was preparing to add some curvature into the lines that I already have, because the 2 bars that you see me working on are parallel to each other, and I'm trying to connect those two with a little C-cup action, you know what I mean? Giggity. Which leads me right into my 3rd tip. Using the corners of the blade to make sure you can get into the crevices that you wouldn't be able to if you use the whole blade. Remember, tip number 1, using your clippers as a utensil, as a tool, laying the clippers flat on the surface of the head to create a straight line. Well, this is the complete opposite. Using the tip of your clippers to create circles, C-cups, or even just smaller, straighter lines. The same goes for the razor. You can see I'm using the corner of the razor to get into the crevices the clippers couldn't, or just to get more defined detail. Speaking about detail, it brings me into tip number 4, adding detail to your designs. There's multiple ways you can add detail to your designs. The simplest way would be just to outline what you already have done. Since the goal is to do the tape, we gotta add a 3D feature, which is gonna add more detail. And if you noticed in the clip before, I was fading out the back side of the tape. What this is doing is causing contrast, causing blends, fades, because in reality, we have shadows. When you have something sitting in a room, the light is casting a shadow on the opposite side of what the light is on. So we're gonna stick to what we know. Don't overcomplicate things, stick to what you know. And if you don't know something, go ahead and comment down below, and I'll make sure I'll answer any and all questions to my best of knowledge. When using a straight blade razor, make sure you're always constantly stretching the skin on the head with the opposite hand. Add friction to the surface to reduce the chances of cuts or nicks. If you pay attention closely, you can see I actually do this throughout the entire haircut. I do that when I'm using my edgers and even sometimes when I'm using my blending clippers. It's actually funny because I'm used to having both hands on the head when I'm doing a complicated design like shown in the video, but I'm training myself not to do it because it can get in the way of the camera, and I'm trying to learn how to give you guys the best content possible. So I may be a good barber and good at designs and good at art, but one thing I want to be humble about is learning my videography, my angles, my lighting, and everything else, because I want to give you guys the best content each and every week. So make sure you tune in. Let's grab our balding clippers. In this case, I'm using my trimmers, the ones I use to actually do the design, and let's bald around the tape. What this is doing is getting it set up to blend. Let's grab them blending clippers, make sure the side lever is closed, and we're gonna blend around the tape in order to create a better pop. So we're not just blending inside the tape, creating a 3D effect, but we're gonna blend around the tape to give it a more visual pop. This is more than just your average haircut. By learning how to do designs, you can increase each of your haircuts up by $50. So you can turn a $35 haircut into an $85 haircut just by learning how to do designs. So take it step by step, hit the subscribe button on my channel, and I promise I will take you guys through each and every steps on what to do with designs, how to increase the depths, the range, the lines, the blends, the fades, even enhancing the design as shown in the video, which brings me into the final tip number 5, enhancing your design. When enhancing your designs, hairlines, beards, or everything in between, consider where you place the enhancement. Earlier in the design, we took the blending clippers and lightened some of the areas to give the tape a 3D effect. We don't want to take that away by darkening everything. Finally, what we all been waiting for. Boom! The aftermath. You too could do this tape design if you just follow the 5 and easy steps shown in the video. Like, share, subscribe. Gotta go.